Hello and welcome to the Ignite podcast. My name is Kaitlyn Moyes.
I'm Heather Morris.
We're happy to have you back, Heather. Are you happy to be back?
I am. I missed everybody. I've been thinking about podcast ideas while I've been gone.
Very good. So we're on episode number 38, and we're titling this one, Blessed Up Lyric Breakdown. Okay, so we're going to...
Yeah, real original, Kaitlyn.
I thought that was pretty clever.
Okay.
The song is called Blessed Up, and we're breaking down the lyrics. Okay. First off, so the singer's name is Wande, and I wanted to give a little background. She is Nigerian, so she was born in Nigeria, and then she grew up in Texas.
Wow. I knew the answer to that one.
Okay. Heather's ready for it. Wow, that week off really inspired her to come back with a...
Go ahead, ask me anything else I'm not about her. I'm not going to look at the paper.
Okay.
She was Muslim and Christian. Became Christian at the age of 7.
Actually, 7th grade.
I'm sorry, 7th grade. I knew it was a 7. Excuse me. All right, I'm going to let you take it.
Are you overly caffeinated today, or what's going on?
I did have 2 cups.
Okay, yes. And I thought it was really cool. She was the first woman signed to Reach Records, which is a Christian label. You're so sassy today, Heather. I wish you guys could see her.
Sorry, I'm going to get it back together.
Okay.
I'm going to bring it back.
Yes. And also, most of her family was Muslim, but she woke up at 5 in the morning to go to work with her mom and then to be dropped off at church. And then she later became a Christian in 7th grade.
And she went to church camp in Texas, which I am a firm believer that church camp can save your life. Or it could get you in trouble. But I'm a firm believer that it can change your life, really. And she really had quite an impact. It had quite an impact on her. So why are you laughing? Kaitlyn is just laughing at me. Did you know that part?
I did. In the outline, it says, she converted to Christianity in 7th grade while interning at a camp in Texas.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
No, I was laughing because I want you to read the lyrics, but it's going to sound really goofy just reading them because it's like a rap. Yeah.
You want me to sing it?
Give it a try.
I've been blessed up. I've been broken down. Got to catch up. Got to shine now. Running faster. Okay. I think I'm good. Kaitlyn won't stop laughing now. This is what's going to happen. She won't stop laughing. Okay. So in the beginning, I'm assuming we're... Okay, go ahead, Kaitlyn.
I think because this song, there's a lot of lyrics, so I just want to pull out maybe a paragraph of them. Okay, do you want to read the highlighted part? No? You want me to? Okay. Bearing that fruit, and now I got the juice. God has been cooking, now I got the soup. Put this together, yo. Really, he clever. I cannot do better. Yo, I got the blues when I go solo. Yo, I've been a fool. God has been changing me. Now I make moves, whether the weather is sunny or pouring. His presence gone pouring. Ride the wave, yeah. I ain't got no fright today, yeah. I'm gonna rise today, yeah. Don't gotta fight the wave.
So what do you think this means? This is what my dad would say to me if we were like listening to Christian music. He'd be like, "You really have to tell me what this means," because he was like, he just was really into how the beat was like. He was like, you guys like the beat, you like, right. But is there something in it that you're getting from it? So tell me what you got from it.
Okay. Well, I think there's a lot of like good points that she made. I just have a couple I wanted to touch on. And you guys are going to have to listen to this song because it sounds so lame when reading the lyrics. But
the words are good.
The words are good. Yeah. So
powerful.
The first part I wanted to talk about, she says, bearing that fruit. What does that mean in the Christian sense? Bearing that fruit. I found a verse from Galatians 5:22-23, and it says, but the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. So that's a lot of different things to look for, And how do we know? I love the Bible because it talks about analogies in terms of nature, and that's something that I like to relate to. So when they're talking about bearing fruit, we think about fruit trees, and how do we know what type of tree it is? By the fruit that it produces, by what it's growing on the tree. Same thing for people. Like, we can really figure out and learn more about people by the type of fruit or by their actions, what kind of person they are. So if they're a Christian, we should see from their life love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, all of those things. So that's kind of...
That was a good breakdown.
Thank
Kaitlyn.
you. Because I feel like we have mentioned it before, like the fruit of the Spirit. But, you know, if you're a new Christian or somebody that's not as familiar with that verse, maybe you're like, fruit, what are they talking about? So I just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah, and I think in the Bible, it also talks a little more about this several times. And they're talking about, like, how... with the tree and how green it is and how fresh and ripe the fruit is and not dead and falling off leaves and stuff, that when you have these things, when you have peace and joy and patience and kindness and goodness and faithfulness and all the other stuff and self-control, that it shows. Right. And that's the part of, what does the tree look like? Yeah. What does the fruit look like? That when you have all those things and God's in your life, and you let him lead you, it's a little more about that too, in your actions and the things that you do, then it shows. Like, you can't help. I mean, we've talked about that before, how your friends will see a change in you. So this is kind of going a little deeper into what you would look like. You're going to look different. You're going to sound different. You're going to feel different. You're going to all of that. And how could that not show if somebody's really your friend? So, I mean, yeah, you're right. And the tree illustration just is such a great, way, not for me, not because it's nature, but for me, because I need the simple stuff.
Very good. Very good. And then there's one other thing I want to pull out from here, and she says, when I go solo, I've been a fool. And that kind of reminded me, like, when we try to do things in our own strength, when we kind of jump ahead of God's timing maybe, and we're not patient and we're not waiting on him to kind of help us with things, that's when we can mess things up and maybe become like a fool, like how she talks about. So just relying on God's help instead of doing things on our own. And there's a verse from Isaiah 40:31 that I love. It says, but they who wait for the Lord shall renew their strength. So I've found in my own life, when I'm getting like really tired and worn out, maybe that's a sign that I'm trying to like do things in my own strength instead of having God help me with them.
I feel exactly the same way. When I'm like overwhelmed, and then that fear that people talk about, like, God says that you shouldn't fear, but it's easy to say that, and but I try to stop myself before it gets to the fear. And maybe it's just because I'm human. It's just anxiety or worry, you know what I mean? Whatever. So not worry, because you're not supposed to worry either. But, but I've just, in my adult life, I try to stop it earlier so that I can say, like, this is something I obviously need to pray about. Like, it's getting too far, too out of hand, let's just pray about it now. And then it does. Eventually it works out, and not always the way I want it to, but it works out. So
that's good. I like how you said that you try to stop it before you feel all of those negative feelings. And I think that comes with a sense of maturity in the faith, of knowing beforehand, before we get too far down the road and we're kind of distant from God. Just kind of catching ourselves before we feel that sense of fear or anxiety.
And I think it also has to do too with what we've been talking about, surrounding yourself with fellow Christians, like other Christian friends, going to youth group, going to church. Because as soon as, like, if you have a good Christian friend or a good friend, and you start to even say what's on your mind, they should be able to say, wait a minute. Like, I'm hearing the stress in your voice. I'm hearing the problem this is causing you. Let's pray about it, you know? And everybody, it sounds so simple, but if you make it simple, it is simple. And if you make that hard, it is hard. You know, if you try to fight it, like to stop and think about it and pray, yeah, it does seem really hard. But if you just let go of it and let it happen, it becomes more simple. Let's put it that way. It becomes more of a habit, but not a bad habit, a good habit. Like, you know where to go next, you know? So it is something that needs to be practiced. Maybe I should say practice instead of habit, but that's when it's important to have other Christians around you. I mean, Kaitlyn, you know, as soon as I would say, you know, this is happening with my kids or this is happening, whatever. And she's like, Heather, you know, it kind of helps me put it in perspective. And then I'm like, oh, okay, like I need to pray about this. And, you know, we go on from there. So you have to surround yourself with people, yeah, that are good for you. Give you good advice.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. And Heather, you're so good at that. Like in the morning, you'll come into my office and you can just like take one look at me. You're like, okay, what's wrong?
I know, I do. Or
you have such a good radar. I don't even have to say anything. You're like, okay, what's happening?
You're so nice, but I'm going to say too, I'm going to give it back to Kaitlyn. I think I was having kind of an off afternoon one day, and then I came in the next day and Kaitlyn had tea for me. She made me tea. I can't believe it. And she said, and she had that voice, let's sit down and talk. It was exactly what I needed. So you do it too.
Making you tea is the least I can do for you, Heather.
Oh my gosh. I live with 3 teenagers. That is a big deal for you to make me tea. So.
All right. Are there any other lyrics that kind of jumped out to you, Heather? Those are my big 2, okay? Talking about the fruit of the Spirit. And
I am glad you asked, Kaitlyn. Isn't this how different we are? Okay. I was really stressed out for her. What am I doing?
Speaking.
Oh, I was really stressed out for her in the beginning of this. Do you want me to tell you why? Okay. Because she was like, okay, I'm not going to tell you the first 2 lines, but she was like, gotta catch up, gotta shine now, gotta run faster, can't slow down, she says it again, gotta catch up. And until I read this and listened to the second verse, I was feeling bad for her. Like, wow, this girl's using. No, really. But I think that first part explains the rest of it, like what she's saying. And the first 2 is, I've been blessed up. So she's expressing that she's been blessed, that she's sitting down and thinking of her many blessings that God has given her. And then she also in the same way says, but I'm going to be honest, I've been broken down too. So I felt like that was really important for everybody to know, that people that are happy and joyous and, you know, blessed and, you know, feel like they're, you know, like in a good place, they've also been down. And I think that's important for an artist to let people know that it hasn't always been bright and shining lights on them. You know, I think that's good. And then when she's saying, gotta catch up, gotta shine now, I think what she's saying is because she was down and now she's blessed, she's working on herself. That's how I took it. Is that how you're taking it? Gotta catch up. No, I'm sorry. I took over the microphone from Kaitlyn.
You're fine. Yeah, I agree. I think that's what she's talking about. And I think she's trying to say that she wants to get back right with God, like trying to catch up to what He has planned for her. And maybe she's been kind of, distant from Him a little bit, and she's trying to catch up and get back on track.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say, back on track. So then she says, gotta shine now. Like, I think she knows that. I love when people say shine when they're talking about God, because God says that we should be the light of the world. So I love that. And I think that's what she's probably referring to. And then she's running again. She can't slow down. So where I was feeling bad for her, I think she's saying it's like showing her excitement. Don't you think so, Kaitlyn? I mean, that's how I took it. You don't have to take it the same way I take it, Kaitlyn. But I'm taking it as she's so ignited. See, Ignite podcast. But that she's, yeah. So at first, when I was feeling bad, she was like, I'm broken. I got to catch up. I got to shine. I got to run. I got to slow down. I got to catch up. I was like, dang, this girl, this girl's a mess. But it's really prefacing, you know, her breakdown, that she learned to be blessed, that it's encouraging her. And then she's going on to talk about how God has made her soup. No, it's important, Kaitlyn. I'm serious. This is my take on it. I mean, soup, when you talk about soup, it's like there's many different kinds of vegetables in it. There's maybe some different kinds of meat. Then you have a sauce. No, Kaitlyn's just laughing at me. Should I just give up? This is how I took it. My heart was feeling bad for her. And then listening to the rest of it, I got it. Okay. But the poor girl at the end of it, she's blessed up, broken down, catching up, shining faster, slowing down again. So I just hope she takes some rest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I agree. I agree with everything that you said.
Exact.
Yeah. And towards the end, it says, yeah, I've been down, but I'm up now. So pull up with the test, won't flunk now. I ain't gonna stress now. I ain't gonna fuss now. So yeah, I think she's trying to get back with God, and she's seeing the fruit of that.
And sometimes you gotta get down, be knocked down, so you know what it's like to be up, or you know. You need that point of reference that I talk about.
And I think that shows that everybody goes through hard seasons.
She can relate to you as an artist. Yeah.
And we can't do it in our own strength.
Nope.
So,
I think there's a lot of Christian songs out there that we all could like get some solace from. I don't really know a lot of the newer stuff because I listen to like, you know, older music or whatever. I used to listen to LaRue and the something brothers, the Kenobi brothers. They were big when I was younger. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know the newer stuff. So if anybody has something that they'd like us to like listen to or they want to share with us, please do. We'd love to hear it. So I think just think this week about like what music you can add to your playlist that would maybe give you a break from the, should I say secular? The music, the popular music that's going on, you know what I mean? Like on the radio and stuff like that. Right. So just, you know, push one of those into your playlist, right? So to give you a break from the other stuff and listen to the words, and this is a good one to push in there.
It is. And if you didn't know that she was a Christian rapper, you would just think that it's a rap song, really.
Yeah.
I can't tell any difference. Like, you know, before I would think, oh, Christian rap, you know, it's kind of corny maybe or something. But the rappers nowadays, they're so good that you can't even tell the difference if they're Christian or not.
Oh,
unless you break down their lyrics. Yeah, but they just sound so good. Like, I love this song.
You're right. I think that she's up there with the big leagues now. Yeah, she wrote that well. I thought you were trying to say that you didn't like. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not going to say what I thought she was going to say. Kaitlyn's a little funny today.
I'm funny. This whole episode, Heather, this is just gone off the rails.
You think so? No.
Do you even have a check it out for us?
No, I don't have a check it out. Go on and listen to this and put it in your... Sorry. Kaitlyn is so discouraged by me. Can you check out the song and put it on your playlist, please?
Okay. Should we just move on and talk about the ABCs of salvation?
Yes, I think it's important. We all need it right now.
Would you like to do that, or would you
I will do that. There are the ABCs of salvation. something that we're all trying to follow together. So you're not alone. A is to admit that you've done wrong, that everybody does wrong, and to admit that there's sin in the world. We're not perfect. B is believing that Jesus died for our sins, that Jesus was a perfect man that walked the earth, and he died then for our sins because he was perfect. So C is for calling on his name by asking Jesus to come into your heart. And I think I've said this before. This is something that I think can be done a couple times in your life because we are not perfect. So whatever's going on, ask him to come into your heart and reach out to other people to help you stay on that path. So
Thank you, Heather.
you're welcome.
I appreciate your insight today.
No, you don't, but that's okay.
You brought it, but in a different way.
I always do, though, right? We always think a little differently. I think it's okay because everybody else that thinks differently, we have to touch on somebody, right?
Yes, I like that we both have different perspectives and we both got different things out of this song. So that's great.
I was just worried for her.
Okay. Well, thank you for listening. And until next time,
Ignite your life.